Yeah, could have been 100,000 years ago, 300,000 years ago, 2 million years ago, and it affected the entire planet. Imagine if this planet was affected by fallen angels in the form of extraterrestrials, yeah, Dark Lodge kind of thing, really evil kind of thing. We see grays coming and we see extraterrestrials and we hear about that and we go, wow, too much to say that it's not true. Too many verifications to say it's not true. Although we've never really walked in with a camera and had conversation with extraterrestrials, so we can't really go all the way on that. But enough to say, yeah, they're there and they're hiding. And they're still there and they're hiding. And they're only giving themselves enough outward recognition so that you remember they're there. Yeah, they're behind the scene. What effect? Why? Why would they be there? What would be the reason for them to be there? Yeah. What if, our process is that we were with God in the beginning? We were all with God, had God. We were all angels, all with God. Yeah. And what happens if that relationship becomes severed by an energy greater than your own relationship to God? Yeah. And that influence, like extraterrestrial, is vibrational. Yeah. Psychic. Yeah. Uses vibrational currents, colors, waves, energetic forces. Yeah. All things that I'm telling you can heal you, can literally help to regulate the earth and regulate yourself and be the real people that you are, live thousands of years and be the real people that you are. But this process, and I know it's true because I could show you all kinds of historical realities that are involved with demigods and their making of our history, yeah, and how they wipe away things, yeah, and they wipe away God. Their only interest is to take away the incarnation of the avatar, for us not to have that in our historical reality. And we don't have the reality, oh, they came and they did what they did and they screwed us up. We don't even get to have that either. It's all behind the scene, all left only in small amounts of information that you can find in archaeological digs and carvings on the wall and things like that. Yeah. The Anunnaki, all these really 30,000 years, 120,000 years, 300,000 years. All historically, we see those things. But in those things, it talks about how these demigods came and ruled the earth and changed the DNA of human beings by having sex with them, by creating giants, which became the incarnations of the demigods, their children. And we see that in David's relationship to the giant. We see it in other relationships archaeologically that we found in American Indians and America. All throughout the world, there's been giants. Yeah. And they're not good giants, They're the kind that come in and kill you, eat you. They're cannibals. They don't eat trees. They don't eat vegetables. They eat people and animals and people, a lot of people. Yeah. So people are known for sacrificing in order to appease these things. If you look at the history of the American Indian, they lived horrible lives in relationship to these red-headed monster giants that lived in America. And they had to appease them until finally they gathered together as groups and burned them out and killed them. And they built the mounds that we know about. And inside there's those giants. And it's been going on for hundreds of thousands of years. And that's taken away your will, taken away your freedom, taken away your ability, and only leaving you with the thought that everything is a predator and all it is separation or duality. Yeah, there's heaven, but then there's here. Yeah, I hear about it, but I don't see it. Yeah, I can't experience it. I can't even prove that Jesus exists. And if you watch enough and you study enough, there's more people out there saying it's qualifyingly possible that Jesus didn't exist, that it was a guy named Samuel or Simon or somebody else who was on the cross and not the guy Jesus the Christ. You can literally study it and find that there are many avenues taking us away from our history, from our truth. Yeah, and just leading people into, oh yeah, there were many messiahs, none of them were the Messiah. Oh yeah, that if you want to believe in a blue avatar, then go right ahead, or if you want to believe in an avatar that gives birth to elephant, half human, half element beings, go right ahead, but you're crazy, you're nuts, you're savages thinking like that. That's on top of, if you know the relationship of cycles of time, and we go through spiritual cycles of awakening throughout time, yeah? And our process is that during the darkest hours, the darkest shit takes place. And we are overcome. And what comes out of it is kings and queens. People who go around through a bloodline. Yeah, and that bloodline comes from this anistazes, who believe that they're kings and queens. They used to be giants. They used to be hoarders. They used to be people that wiped away villages and had no consciousness of it because they don't come from this earth. Yeah, they have no interest whatsoever, just to be a predator, and that's it. Yeah, so we can see that. In our history, we have Hitler, we have all these different processes in our history, and all they are karmic, involved reality that is just going around and around and around like a movie. Yeah, and we're looking at Hitler, we're looking at this, and we're looking at First World War, and we're looking at war and all the way to China or Korea or wherever we've been in war. And every single one of them, all of those aspects of war, come from that bloodline. Our ability to be that way consciously, DNA, RNA, to be that way, comes from that bloodline. Yeah. So that bloodline gets and did get wiped away through Adam and Eve, which is many, many hundreds of thousands of years after this fall. Hundreds of thousands of years. Yeah. Only 10 or 12,000 years was the time of Adam and Eve. Yeah. So that cycle created a new bloodline. And all of humanity, not every single one of them, but most of humanity is from the bloodline of Adam and Eve. And that takes them back to the original cycle. That's why the actual bloodline of Adam and Eve are people who live an average of 1,000 years because of their bloodline. They're pure. They're not evil extraterrestrial son of a bitches, demons, that invaded this planet and got everybody to believe in extraterrestrial superiority. People bent their knees, went down on their knees and prayed to the extraterrestrial ship and to the people that came off that ship. And they weren't God. And when you do that, and there is a God, but you don't have TV and you don't have ways of knowing this person who's just hanging out, being happy, maintaining the life force on earth through happiness, through joy and peace, celebrating life, living thousands and thousands and thousands of years, not going through the process that humanity does. Study that. You'll see that in Babaji. You'll see that in many of the past lives, all the way to Adam, to Enoch, Methuselah, all those bloodlines are direct lines that have to do with God and Genesis. And Genesis is a making of a new DNA, a new genetic relationship to this earth. And it's to protect us from what we have done, what humanity has done. And all the process of that energy, which is upside down, it's in your chakras, it's upside down, is done by changing your lifestyle. Changing your lifestyle. Imagine if you had God in you all the time, you had God in you, telepathically, God is living just with you at the same time as you, And just like the greatest rock star on earth is radiating out sound, beautiful songs, yeah, beautiful, yeah, and it goes out into the spheres, it goes out into the cosmos, it goes out into earth, and all the birds become birds, yeah, and all the butterflies and everything become butterflies, and you appreciate it, and you enjoy it, and you get to live, yeah, but that's being done by the life of the Lord, yeah, and when these creatures came and people bent their knee to that, they lost their telepathic ability to connect to joy. Because all of a sudden they felt irreverent, inferior to that which stood in the way of God. So much more prominent. Imagine if this was tens of thousands of extraterrestrials who come down onto this earth at a time when we have total ignorance, and yet we are spiritually capable. We have the avatar, we have all this going on, but come at a dark time, come when people are in their lowest of nature, yeah, and just completely wipe out, so that when the cycle does come back around, they have to completely re-evolve themselves out of the curse that they took, yeah, from their previous lives. And they have no idea that they're cursed. They made a commitment, they made an agreement in some way, shape, or form during life, and it keeps coming back as karma, yeah. So it's hard to change karma, yeah, unless the Lord comes, and the Lord is in a time or a cycle, yeah. And just like I explained the relationship of time and cycles in Hindu reality, and how the Vedas explain the yugas, and how those energetic principles change our consciousness, yeah, because we get closer to God, and God is in connection to our solar system. The solar system is connected to other solar systems, sister solar system, twin solar systems that come closer to us at certain cycles of time. And God, all of this is God. And when it's really far away, we here, the cursed ones, have a hard time relating to the ones that weren't cursed. Yeah. So when that cycle comes back around, we are awakened by that memory, by those influences, that central spiritual sun, the soul that grows inside of us. But with this curse, it means only about 1/10 of us will be appreciating the process of enlightenment, and the rest will be seeking, ways to get through it. And they'll find false teachers and many different ways and avenues that take them to sidetrack paths, like New Age and channeling and, all kinds of stuff, rather than going directly to where the scenario really is. Yeah.